Welcome to Legion Outpost, and today we're going to be looking at a store tournament that me and some of the team members from Legion Outpost went to. For most of the team, this is the first experience into competitive play, so we're going to talk about what that experience was like for all of them, but also what maybe you should get ready to do when you get into some competitive play. With Legion, going to a store tournament is fairly casual competitive, but it is a good place to get your feet wet in competitive play. And so let's kind of talk about the experience. For us, we don't have any local game store near us in our community. The only gaming areas were the one I create in the basement of the church. And so we meet regularly there, and we have other people come from all around the area. The most local gaming store is an hour and a half away, and this tournament was three and a bit away. And so we went down to this tournament. It was the first time for a lot of them to try to do something like this. They've wanted to do something, and the nature of doing something like this is to see where you are really in the competitive scene, but not only that, how you stack up to other players. Because if you're always playing in your own community, you get to know the tendencies and the things of the people in your community, and it doesn't actually stretch you to a rethink the way you play, different things. So joining a store tournament outside of your community is a good thing to do. It also boosts there because going to the store tournament, most of the other players play in that area, so they only play those people too. So it's nice to get into have other people come from outside of your area. It's not something you can do all the time, but I recommend doing this every couple of months, going to find a different tournament around your area and getting involved. Now, if you're going for your first time, you want to know your list. That's one of the things that you really want to know. This is my list here that I took for the tournament. I play Rebels mainly, and this is a Rebel list, and it's Han, Jin, and Chewie as the leaders, 2 Ewok squads, 2 Fleet Troopers, 2 laser turrets, a unit of Pathfinders, a unit of Rebel Vets, and the Mark II is my whole army there. And the idea of this is that you kind of get your Han 2 pip distraction card out usually around 3, and by that time you put your fleet troopers either, if you're in place, you put them in a standby, so if anything comes to shoot Jin or Han, you can do it. If you draw them early, if you don't draw them earlier and things are already in range, you can move your fleet troopers in and shoot them at the things and get your Ewoks in and stuff. It's a good opportunity to move and advance. So most of the times I use that turn to advance my Ewoks up the field in safe cover because I couldn't get killed that round. Well, as long as everything could see Han or Jin. Now, in my first game, it didn't work out quite like that, but this is my list. A few things I recommend bringing is good shoes. If you're older like me, your back starts to hurt by the third round, or you sit down a bit more. And I'm not very good at sitting down while playing tabletop games. I know there are people that can do it. I'm standing up, and then you're leaning over the table and you're creating more. Lots of water for hydration and some sort of snack just to keep you going in between rounds and when you have an opportunity. Those are the things that I recommend to do. From now on, I'm going to bring a little floor mat just to stand on, give me a little more comfort, because my back really is getting sore. I'm getting older, and so that's kind of one of the things I'm going to do. But the other thing is, go with an attitude to have fun. Don't be a rule lawyer when you go there, but know your rules. And talk things through with the people you're playing with. At a store level, it's pretty casual competitive. They're competitive, but they're willing to talk through things a bit more. And people will make mistakes. There was mistakes made in the games that I played and the games played around me, and that people just didn't have a clear grasp of what they were running, or they misunderstood a rule or something. So there are mistakes being made. But yeah, you just go with a good attitude and have fun. That's the real thing about this. Have fun, enjoy it. It's nice to be competitive and win. Let's talk about the tournament we went to. So I went down with three other members from Legion Outpost. And one of the things we do as Legion Outpost when we go to a store tournament, because it's around a different area, we usually bring gifts to give away. This one we brought a bunch of bags to give away, token bags with our logo on it, and some dice to give away too. But it's just a kind of a nice thing to create friendships, and hopefully you're going to see these people again and play them. The community is growing in Ontario, but you will get to know some of the people as you play in different events. Now, I wish the store closest to us actually held tournaments. I've been talking with them to try to see if I can hold them for them, and but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, have fun. So let's take a look at some of the tables and stuff. So let's just take a look. Here are the three tables I played on in order here. The one that kind of looks like a Marsy Geonosian look. That was the first table I played on. It was the first of all, I want to give compliments to the guy who did all the. He's one of the players there. He did all the terrain. He made it all very good painting. His painting on his models were extremely well. He did a Wookiee list. I wish I would have grabbed some photos of it. His Wookiees looked amazing. And all the terrain that he built was really cool. The tables though weren't set up the best, particularly the first table I played on. Because if you look at this table, there is a big U-wing right in the middle. And so that became the key position, which came really big. And in this situation, it was in the deployment zone for the other person I played. I played Rebel on Rebel in my first one. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the second one. Then there's this Hoth map. Lots of line of sight blocking and heavy there with some nice and light. The next map was, I don't even know what to call this world, but like some jungly world. And it was a little more open, but there was a lot of heavy and line of sight blocking you can see with some light bushes and stuff. And after that, there are these other two tables. At this tournament, there was a total of 10 people that came, so there was 5 tables. There was actually 6 tables set up, but 5 that we used. So I only took the ones we used. And there's a city one. You can barely see it, but on the other side, there was an X-Wing. That was beautifully painted. I took another photo, I thought, of that up close, but yeah, it was very nicely painted. And as I said, the structure, laser turret, it almost looks like it's 3D printed, but that was all made out of cardboard. He had that tower was made out of cardboard. There was so many nice little parts. And on the hop board, there was like a little droid and like some wrecked ATPTs and stuff like that. It was really good. And then this next one was jungle. It does look a lot smaller than it is. Those trees and that big tree with the hut on it were fairly big. And there is a hollow. You'll see in another picture I show a little bit of a hollow area we can go inside of there. But that was kind of thing. So let's take a look and talk about my first game. So my first game, it was a Rebel on Rebel, and he had a lot of armor. He had 2 buses and 3 ATRTs, and some Ewoks, Leia, and 2 Rebel troopers with a repair droid, and then another fleet troopers with a repair droid. And so it was a heavy hitting, lots of aims given out by the buses. They both had tactician in it. They both had big guns on them. After the first round, I just said, I'm not even going to go after the buses because I melted the shields off and did a lot of damage on one, and he just healed it all back up. He healed 6 damage back up, and shields came back, and I'm like, I'm just going to avoid the buses. So I eliminated all the ATRTs in the first 2 rounds, and started working away on his Ewoks and a couple other things. And it was key position we played. And you can see that I set up all along here. and it was hemmed in key position. And so I set up along here, and that little rock in front of where those fleet troopers are was my other point. His other point was in this back corner, far away over by that down pipe. And then the centerpiece was obviously the U-wing, and it was huge, and it's not a good centerpiece item. That table is the only table I was like, well, this is not a really good. And I ended up playing key positions in all three of my matches. And so this came down to kill points. He thought he had me beat right up to the end. I had secured mine, he had secured his, and we were tied in the middle. And then he ended up killing my one guy, which made him no longer tied in the middle. And then I had a Ewok unit over here that was engaged. I disengaged to tie up that one, and we ended up with 1-1 tie. And he had a kind of a shocked face on him when I did that, disengaged into tying up his thing. And it was beautiful to see that facial reaction. And then the kill points came down to a difference of me not killing his one leader that was back over here. And he beat, so it was like very, very small differences, kill points. So he beat me on kill points. And there was a couple of things I could have done to change that. I could have won. I had Ewoks underneath the wing, and I could have came out and killed Leia with them, which would have made me win if they killed her. But if they didn't kill her, I also had not my fleet troopers. They got killed. My Pathfinders under the wing there with Jin, and my Pathfinders, I didn't have them tucked in as much as I thought I did. And he took a shot with his bus, which I don't know the angle, was pretty tight. But he got the shot off and killed him. So if I would have kept that guy alive or killed his, but that's the way dice roll. He made one save. I didn't make one save, and it just worked out that way. And so I lost that one on points. And then the second game, game 2, we ended up playing on the Hoff one. And there's a slide of pictures there. I set up mainly behind the radar, the power things. You can see there, I've set up behind the power things for the shield power. And then on the other one, I set up behind the other one. And then again, it was key positions. My key position was right in between the two zones. And there was this down wrecked ATST. And his was over on that box on the far side. And you can see there was a battle for the middle. And it came down to the 5th round when I killed Vader in the middle. You'll see a picture here of it. And I pretty much wiped everything else off. He had one Stormtrooper unit left and one bike left, and Vader in the middle, which I eventually killed. And so once killing Vader, he kind of knew that at 6th round he couldn't do anything with the one bike. It wasn't even a full unit bike. It was just a bike. And then his Stormtroopers right at the back. And so I outscored him 2-0. He didn't get any of the points. The other point was tied up. And so, yeah, it was a good game. It went pretty good. And then my third game, game 3, was on this board here. And I didn't take many pictures because at this point my back was sore, and I kind of forgot to take pictures on this one. And I was like, oh, shoot, I forgot to take pictures. But I set up along this side, in behind this wall in the upper right-hand corner and along the right side. And the middle point was the little flowers. His token thing was this big building with the 3 layers. And then mine was that just outside of my zone, there was that little, looks like a space pod building on stilts that was just outside of my zone. And so that was where I put mine. And I had had him whittled down. I was playing a Mandalorian Shadow Collective list, and round 2, Maul jumped in and one-shotted Jin. And when he one-shotted Jin, I rolled all blanks, and so he rolled his, and I rolled complete blanks, not even a single save, so he couldn't even keep her. And it was right beside all of my shooting guys, and all my shooting guys lit up Maul. And I killed Maul and his Mandalorians who tried to help him by weakening me down. And finally, my Ewoks killed Maul. And I shot with everything, and he still had 2 health left, and I rushed my Ewoks in and killed them. And then my Ewoks jumped the fence and killed the last Mandalorians, the other Ewok group. And then I just whittled him away down to just his bus and Gar Saxon. And so I controlled all 3 points in this one and won this one heavily. Really controlled this one. And we finished in round 5. Probably could have pushed it to round 6 because we had about 4 minutes left and he only had 2 activations, and maybe I would have been able to kill Gar Saxon because I had him beat up a bit, but not guaranteed. I wouldn't have been able to kill the boss with what I had left. I had 7 activations left. But yeah, it was a bloodbath. And so just a few other games that went on. I'll just show you a couple pictures of some of the other games I did take pictures of while I was there. You can see over here another Rebel on Rebel list right in the bottom left corner. And then the Maul list against a Wookiee list. And then there was a Separatist force there, the experimental droids, and they're doing a fighting a Cody clone list. And that was the fastest game of Legion I ever seen. About the 45-minute mark, the Cody list was wiped off the map by the experimental droids. And so the experimental droid player went 3-0 and won the tournament. And then there was, I think, 4 people went 2-1, me and a few other people. The other Rebel list, and I think one of the Wookiee lists, there was 2 Wookiee lists. The other 2 Rebel lists. So all 3 Rebel lists finished 2-1, and the Wookiee list, one of the Wookiee lists finished 2-1. And when it all came down to kill coins and strength of tournament and stuff, I ended up in 3rd. So I got 3rd place in this tournament, and the other Rebel list was 2nd. I believe it was the one I faced. Then the Wookiee list came in 4th. And that's the one that was beautifully painted. And you can see the Wookiee list here on this battle force in the bottom right corner, just coming into the clones. And I wish I got closer pictures of those Wookiees. They were really well painted. But I first want to thank the host for hosting this tournament, and I thank everybody who's watching this video and stayed this long. This video will be the last video you can enter the giveaway for the alternate art cards. And because next week we'll be drawing for the alternate art cards, and some people on Discord, I gave them a unnatural resources. I had some of these, especially if you're not English as your first language, if you're French, you're Spanish, or you're German, hit me up in the comments and I'll get you one. I'll get you a copy of it. I won't be able to give tokens to everybody because you only come with enough tokens for one language, but it comes with all those languages, which will give them the stuff to play it. Tokens are something you just take anyways and use, and you can download and 3D print like I did the monster if you want, or just use a Droidica base. It's the same size as the token used for the game. And then so it looks like this, tokens, and it comes with a alternate art force push with Ventress on it and Anakin. And so, yeah, if you're French, German, or Spanish and you want one of those, let me know and maybe I can get you one. And yeah, well, may the force be with you and enjoy. I will put in the description of the video the list that I actually played. And thank you again for taking the time and helping me out and watching these. And there's more videos to come. I am working right now on a video of how to get new people to play and some ways to do that. And a special video in that series is on how to teach or play with a younger person that may not understand all the rules. Maybe you have a kid like me and they're younger. When I first started this game, my son was eight years old and I got him playing it back then. And I started with less rules, and I'll talk about that and how to make it fun for them so that they will enjoy playing. So as they get older, my son's now 16. So I guess he was 10 years old at the time. And my other son was 8 and 10 at the time. And so my son's 16 now, and he enjoys playing the game with his friends, and he's bringing more people to the community in our area. So it's good to get him playing games at a young age. So thank you guys for being a part. Thank you for allowing me to share all this with you guys. But then the next thing you can do for me, it doesn't cost you anything to just like and subscribe, maybe even hit that notification so you get the next videos. And if you make a comment, there's a chance to enter in to win some free loot. And so the free loot win will be next week, and we're only 2 people away from 1,000 subscribers. So I'm looking for that 1,000 subscriber because I'd like to make sure I get them something as well. And thank you guys, and may the force always be with you.